Reporter Andy Parati. Andy, so what happens? Homeland Security has a series of recommendations, right?
Yeah, that's right. You know, while we don't know exactly what happened, and we're going to get more details as law enforcement provides them, the federal government, in particular the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, has recommendations on how the public should react during an active shooter situation. And they split it up into 3 tiers at first. 1, evacuate. 2nd, hide out. 3rd, take action against the shooter. If you can't evacuate or hide out, that means fighting back. That means yelling. That means if you have something that you can throw at the shooter, throw it at the shooter. Then there's some 2nd-tier recommendations that happen when law enforcement arrives. And you heard the young student just talking about some of these. When law enforcement arrives, they recommend staying calm, following the officer's instructions. You saw all of them being taken to the football field in our video from the helicopter earlier. The 2nd one, take down any items in your hands, bags, jackets, small items, anything that may look like a weapon. And finally, immediately raise your hand and spread your fingers, just like that young woman, the student, described what she did when she was leaving the classroom. These are just a few of the dozens of recommendations the U.S. Homeland Security recommends during active shooter situations. And as you just saw, nearly 2,000, that's about how many students go to this high school, by the way. 1,900, nearly 2,000 students at this high school, all taken to that hospital, many of them taken to the football field during the evacuation. And it could give us, these recommendations that we just outlined, could give us some details of exactly what was happening during the active shooter situation at the school earlier this morning. Ladies.
Andy, thank you. What we heard